Hey, it's me, eyyD3, and welcome to my first album review of Baby Keem's The Melodic Blue. Now, my first introduction to Baby Keem was actually through Travis Scott's Spotify page when I was just looking for music, and I ended up seeing this brown blob being the cover for Do-Rag Activity that immediately made me think of Travis Scott's Batman costume from Halloween a few years ago. Now, I didn't know exactly what to expect when hearing this new song from Travis Scott, but I didn't know who it was from either. And I ended up seeing that it was from Baby Keem, and I immediately thought of, oh, it's another baby rapper. Oh, Keemstar, who is this kid? What does this guy think he's doing? But, to be honest, when Travis Scott does do a song with somebody new, it usually ends up being a pretty good song. So it ended up being pretty good. And I was kind of interested in what more Baby Keem had to offer. So I actually went onto his page. I ended up finding out about Orange Soda and Honest as well. I thought that Orange Soda was a pretty good, pretty good song overall. I didn't really have much to complain about it. I thought it was pretty catchy, and I immediately put it into my playlist. And there was also the song Honest, which I believed to be a pretty good song that expressed a lot of his emotions, some of the feelings that he had towards, the people around him, and, it gave me a good perspective on Baby Keem and his music. Now, I don't think I've actually fully listened to his album, Die For My Bitch, but I do know that those two songs are pretty good standouts from the album. Since those songs have come out, there have been a few other songs, like the song Family Ties with Kendrick Lamar, which was pretty much the best introduction to Baby Keem that I think most people had over the past few weeks. And there was also Baby Keem being on another song with Travis Scott on Kanye West's album Donda, the song Praise God, which I thought was quite good, although I was a little bit turned off by the fact that he had quite a lot of auto-tuned high vocals in his part, which I didn't necessarily like, and I was kind of hoping that this album didn't have much of that. But with that being said, going into this album, I didn't necessarily know what to expect, considering the most recent stuff was so, kind of different. There was a bunch of different sounds that he was testing out, and I didn't know exactly what I was going to be hearing. About this album, I find it's a very dystopian, kind of lost a feeling. You kind of have the understanding that he was very confused as to what was happening. He had actually started writing this album towards the end of 2019, so around the beginning of the pandemic time, and so I feel like somewhere in the middle of that he had kind of turned directions and kind of thought that he would make an album where he is giving the perspective of a club in the middle of a pandemic almost. It's dystopian, lost, and kind of scared in a way. I think most of the songs on this album are pretty good. I think there are a few standout songs. I do actually really enjoy the songs with the features, because I feel like whenever there is a song of a younger artist with a feature, they end up getting more of the production from that featured artist, especially with people like Don Toliver and Travis Scott, where a lot of the songs that they are on usually have a drastic beat switch or something harmonizing in the background to make it be a Travis Scott or Don Toliver song. I found that those songs were really well produced and sounding overall, and I think that it didn't really take anything away from Baby Keem's parts, but it also just kind of enhanced the song overall. I think the songs with Kendrick Lamar were quite good. I found that there were some memorable lyrics, obviously top of the morning, top of the morning, top of the morning, and obviously the song Family Ties, where he says, pop off only on occasion, brother, which I found that line was quite funny, and I kept repeating it a couple of days after the song had come out. Now, some of the songs that I'd like to mention off of the album specifically would include Trademark USA, where he has parts of the song that have the very beginning has this quite annoying whining sound at the beginning, and I didn't really necessarily enjoy that part, but it kind of works for the song, and if you listen to it a couple more times, it does end up becoming pretty good. And then there's also, towards the end of the song, there's this sound of almost pumping an air mattress when you go camping. I don't know if anybody else heard that, but it was pretty annoying at first when I did pick up on it. But again, I don't know how these two super irritating sounds kind of blend in with the song and kind of sound okay anyways, but they just stood out at first. Followed by a very nice intro. I found the song Pink Panties was something very strange, and it left me a little bit concerned to what the rest of the album is going to sound like. I had heard the song at first, and I really liked the beat that it was going for. I liked the beat. I was kind of grooved into it, and I didn't exactly know what was going to be following with the lyrics. And the lyrics were something that kind of hit almost like a brick wall at first. I did not understand what he was talking about at all. I think that some of the lyrics on there are so jarring to the point where the way that I want to like dance to the song because of this incredible beat is followed up with these terrible lyrics. It's kind of, I don't know, there's something to it that just doesn't work for me, but at the same time I do enjoy it, and it's very painful to listen to this and be like, do I enjoy this? Do I hate this? What the fuck is happening? I think the song Scapegoats is interesting. It's only a bridge. It's only one verse from Baby Keem. I think overall, most of the first half of the album has a lot of really short songs with some, they're okay verses with a bunch of ad-libs and vocals added into it that are kind of unnecessary in my opinion. But I think towards the second half it gets much, much better, specifically after the song Family Ties, but I think that the song Lost Souls is also pretty good. Now there's also the song Scars, which comes right after Family Ties. I think that is something that I really want to point out at this part of the album that I kind of didn't really like, and I feel like is an overarching problem with the album in general. It's not like the end of the world, but I think it's just something that he can work on as he progresses as an artist. I think that the song Family Ties with Kendrick Lamar has such a high energy to it, and beat 'em up, beat 'em up, beat 'em up, and all this other type of stuff that's going on in the album. There's so much energy brought with both of them towards this song. And then following that is the song Scars, and it's just so much different energy-wise, and it has a lot of high points energy-wise and really a lot of low points energy-wise. And it's not only the energy, but it's also the themes they're talking about on these songs, like the song Lost Souls, like the song Issues and Scars or whatever. There are lots of really, really high points and low points towards it emotionally, and it's kind of a bit jarring to listen to these really, really energetic songs followed by some pretty emotional cuts. I think it's a little bit interesting. So obviously, as I mentioned, there's this really, really high point, really low point, direct activity, bit of the middle, and then followed by Boo Man. Now, Boo Man is easily the most forgettable song on this entire album. It's just short like some of the first songs on the album, but it's in the later half of the album where it's much better in my opinion, and I feel like this song is just sitting there to be listened and skipped. I honestly don't think there's much purpose to the song. There's nothing really lyrics wise, nor is it a good song in general, so I don't exactly know why it's here. It's pretty forgettable. Following Boo Man is First Order of Business. I feel like the song is actually really good. I feel like it's one of my more favorite songs on the album, but it's kind of interesting to hear in the chorus of the song where he says, "First order of business, thank my mama," and then 3 lines later he says "First order of business" again. So which is your first order of business? Doesn't make much sense there. But he says "First order of business, give money to my shorty." So is his mother his shorty? I don't really understand what's happening here. I think my favorite song on this album is Vent. I feel like just the pure amount of energy brought towards this song is just so well done, and I feel like it's got a really, really high amount of energy, but then it's also kind of lowering towards the end because it's closing out the album a little bit. I feel like this song could be an outro, but I feel like 16 does serve as a better outro overall. I feel like on Vent, the vocals from Kendrick Lamar being added to it just kind of adds to the overall energy because so many people are pumped up when they hear somebody that they really, really enjoy on an album like this, for example, where not many people know who Baby Keem is, and so when they hear the song and they have this crazy booming beat in the background and they hear these incredible punching vocals from Kendrick Lamar, have you ever been punched in the face before? Hold on, I'll do it for you, basically. I think it's just really interesting to hear that song overall. And again, 16 is a really good outro to the album. I feel like, after all of the dystopian sounds that you have throughout the entire album, it's really nice to hear something that's a little bit more familiar and kind of, a bit of a warming, kind of almost like an 80s sound to me or something like that. It's really nice to just hear it kind of close out the album in a nice way. Now, overall, I feel like this album is really good for Baby Keem. I feel like it's a really good point for him to have this album and a project like this, where he's not really giving, I don't think it's good to say he's giving us, mediocre songs, but I feel like for somebody of his age, it's really impressive to see overall his production quality and his vocal qualities. I feel like, if he does do an album next time where he has his best vocals and his best production put together, I feel like he could have a very, very good project. And I feel like this is a very good representation of who Baby Keem is. And so if you're trying to show somebody who he is, this is the best one to show him. I think overall, I'd probably give this album a 6 or 7 out of 10. I think I'll probably lean towards a 7. I think it's pretty good overall. I feel like there's some parts that could be done a little bit better. But in general, for his age, I feel like this is something that's really, really impressive. And I'm very curious to see what more he has to offer. But yes, anyways, if you liked this video, please give it a like, obviously. If you enjoyed my commentary or my perspective, if you think there's something that you didn't really realize or you think that there could have been done better or whatever, let me know in the comments and subscribe down below. Also, follow me on Twitter for updates on new videos that I'm going to be coming out with. And thanks for watching. Peace.